So, when what's been happening, you've gone from strength to strength to strength since we last saw you with Future Music Magazine. Now you're huge in America now as well. I mean, it's really gone from strength to strength for you.
It's been quite an amazing time, the last couple of years. American market has blown up. I've got a really big profile over there, as well as South America these days. My radio show is pretty much everywhere. It is, I think, 55 countries at this stage, and all the productions are doing really well, so I'm in a really good spot right now.
See, I mean, I know you've just been working hard at it, but I mean, were there any particular points where you can remember that a little snap, a little change, where it was like the next step?
Well, I would say Coco for me was a track that kind of started a new era for me. With kind of like a change of direction, and also being accepted for doing that. So for me, that was a very important moment in my career.
Because you kind of stepped a little bit away from trance, not stepped away, but you went a bit. The BPM dropped a little bit.
The BPM dropped a little bit. I'm still working with a lot of tracks that has a lot of melody in it. I obviously love melody just as much as I did 10 years ago. But just there's so much other good music out there as well. So I started combining more and more different genres. Tech house, progressive house, and keeping the melodic, vibe in there as well. For me, was a big step, and it opened a lot more possibilities.
And you've been developing the label as well. I mean, when we last saw you, it was kind of just started, hadn't it? Really,
it's pretty crazy. We kind of decided to go with a new label to promote my own music. I had a lot of tracks to be released, and I wanted to release it on an own label. To be in control of the whole, perception of it as well. Then people started sending me tracks, and I got the whole new role of being an A&R manager as well, which I absolutely love. So one thing led to the other, and now the whole release schedule is just filled up with new tracks.
So I mean, let's talk about the A&R, because obviously we've got lots of people watching that are maybe DJs and making like trying to start making records. I mean, what really catches your ear from a record? I mean.
Well, first of all, being different than anybody else, everybody else. There's a lot of good music out there. There's a lot of music to get inspiration from. But in the end, you want to do something different, and if you do so, then definitely I will plug it, and I will try to guide the whole process, making the track better. I give a few tricks. Sometimes I actually go into some of the studio and just show a few things. That whole new process, I absolutely love as well.
So I mean, are there any things you hear constantly that sort of annoy you with demos? Somebody using the same preset, or somebody, do you know what I mean? A mistake that everybody makes that they need to stop doing.
Well, the thing is that at one point a certain sample city gets really famous, so everybody starts using the same build-ups, the same structure in the records. They have this since like Nexus 2, and I use Nexus 2 and I use sample cities as well, but I try to be original with using them, and there's so much sounds out there to make great records of that sometimes it's better to step away from the obvious and just make something new.
So who's coming up on your label? Like, who's some new guys or some new talent? Who is really exciting you at the moment?
It's just the new track I just did together with Dogfish and Into the Light. Those are two guys that are really working on it. They've got massive potential. Judith Jordan, I did a track together with. He's crazy. I just heard him playing like a kind of like a tech house techno set. Absolutely amazing. He's only 70 years old, so there's a lot of new and young up-and-coming talent out there, which is very good for this industry.
So you're looking to sort of nurture as well on your label. I mean, these will be guys that you'll help.
Oh, absolutely. I will do whatever I can, even on like an contractual side of things. I will give them advice, and it's when I started becoming an artist myself. I had to figure everything out myself. How to work with contracts. Planning in a photo shoot, simple stuff like that. These days is a lot better organized, but they need to have advice, from people that, work their way, up until now. And I'm more than happy to give that to an starting artist.
Okay, one question I've been asking everybody. It's kind of off track from the studio thing, but tell us about the worst gig you've ever had to play not your performance, but maybe you've turned up and the equipment or the power's been shut off. You know, everybody's got a nightmare gig. Tell us about a nightmare gig.
Actually, I do know which one. There was this promoter. I'm not going to say which country because he's going to clock it right away. In a certain country, and he decided to build a club on an island, but he didn't take into consideration all logistics behind it. So there weren't any shuttles going to that island. So if you wanted to go to the club, you had to arrange your own boat to get there. So I arrived at the club, and I was literally the only people there was the actual staff in the club. So I said to the guy, let's have a drink and let's see what we can do in the future. But this is really not going to work out, and you really need to start looking into your logistics. This is not.
So you had your own private island, and that was it.
It was like a party. It was pretty interesting actually. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Yeah.
And what's on your tech rider then? CDJ 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, I've got 4 CD 2000s. I still love the 900 mixers, so definitely that's on there. Good monitor speakers. I personally prefer the acoustics. They have a really clean sound. I don't have to crank it up that much. And the Wi-Fi is not that's spectacular, but with that I can work it.
And 2000 Nexus, do you bother?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But they're on your rider, or do you happy with 2000?
2000 is more.
So you don't need to sync or.
What's the point of syncing? With the 2000, the original ones, if you only look at the BPM, it's already, match those and it's already fine. But I actually didn't know that myself when I started mixing with the 2000 that they were so accurate, because I only mix by ear, so I still do that these days.
And what headphones are you using at the moment?
The Technics, obviously they're not being produced, I think, in the near future, so I'm gonna see if I'm going to V-Moda or Pioneer, just kind of play between.
Maybe your own headphones?
Yeah, I might have been working on that one as well.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Sander. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.